Good afternoon, dear students, and I hope you are doing well and you are all safe at home. It is not possible for obvious reasons to come to college or for you to attend tuition, so I decided to finish what we had already started in classes. Now we would continue with William Blake's the Songs of Experience. As you know that the Songs of Experience were written in 1793 and the Songs of Innocence were written in 1789. 1789 being a very important date for the French Revolution. Now when we come to the poem The Tyger, we have to understand Blake's philosophy, and if any of you want to understand Blake's philosophy in one sentence, we would do very well to actually give a quotation from William Blake's book The Marriage of Heaven and Hell, and the quotation being, without contraries is no progression. Attraction and repulsion, reason and energy, love and hate are necessary to human existence. Now, from these contraries spring what the religious call good and what the religious call evil. So this is the fundamentals, that if the lamb exposes one side of the coin, then the tiger exposes the second side of the coin, which makes Blake exclaim later on that did he who made the lamb make thee. So without any further delay, let us get into the poem The Tyger. Now it starts begin with the tiger. Literally it means the animal tiger, but symbolically it is a force of rebellion, predation, violence, which is the contrary spirit to the lamb, and under the dictate of Urizen, this spirit perverts into abusive powers like repression, tyranny, violence and destruction. However, the energy of the force as an absolute is not necessarily evil. This is one thing we have to understand, that this particular force of the tiger is not necessarily evil, but Blake says that under the force of Urizen, U-R-I-Z-E-N, Urizen, it has a tendency of becoming pervert. All right, it has a tendency of becoming pervert. So now the same God who created the lamb also created the tiger. This is one thing we have to understand when we come to Blake's pre-romantic philosophy. So the stanza starts with, Tiger, tiger burning bright in the forests of the night, what immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? So already you see that the note of exclamation is there. So tiger, tiger burning bright. Now what do we mean by burning bright? Burning bright refers to an image of heat, the fire symbol, which is evident throughout the poem. It's a shaping force. It's like the tiger is creating something. Now what immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? So here the immortal hand can be said to be the immortal hand of God. Now forests, remember that it is not a single but a vast extension of forests, and forests sometimes here symbolize primeval darkness. It's a classical symbol of nature or natural existence, and the forests belong to the forces of darkness. Now when we come to the second stanza, what do we see? That in what distant deeps or skies burnt the fire of thine eyes? On what wings dare he aspire? What the hand dare seize the fire? So what is this hand which is being talked about? This hand is the hand of Prometheus. Now Prometheus, as we know, who was Prometheus? Prometheus was a Greek character, and when Zeus had asked all the gods not to give fire to the human beings, because if human beings attain the knowledge of fire and what to do with it, they will never require us. Prometheus, the first thing that Prometheus did was give the fire to mankind, and in this way helped mankind. But in return, Prometheus was chained, and as we know that the romantic poet Shelley deconstructed Aeschylus's Prometheus Bound and made it into his famous closet drama Prometheus Unbound. So this is Prometheus who is being talked about over here. Now we come to the next stanza, which Blake starts by saying, "And what shoulder and what art could twist the sinews of thy heart." So you see one thing, that could frame thy fearful symmetry, then burnt the fire of thine eyes, on what wings dare ye aspire, what the hand dare seize the fire. These are all questions. How many questions did we have in the Lamb? How many questions? If we see the poem The Lamb, how many questions? Little lamb, who made thee? Dost thou know who made thee? That's it. Making all the whales rejoice. Little lamb, who made thee? Dost thou know who made thee? It's the same repetition, but it's a very meek and mild tone, because the lamb doesn't know what to say. The lamb is being told, is being dictated upon by authority, by institution, by ideology, by hegemony. But no ideology, no hegemony can be enforced on the tiger, because the tiger is free. You cannot have a feudal monarch dictating the tiger. So the tiger becomes the symbol of Robespierre, the Jacobin of 1793. So, and what shoulder and what art could twist the sinews of thy heart? Sinews referring to muscles or bone marrow. And when thy heart began to beat, so when the tiger has finally come into being, the ontology is known. What dread hand and what dread feet? So immediately when he has come into being, people are afraid that who is this tiger? Who is this caricature? Who is this enigma? Who is this epitome of magnanimity? From where did he come? Why does he look so terrible in nature? Why does he look so fierce? You see, romantic philosophy was a reaction against neoclassicism. Romanticism was very much inspired by both the American and the French revolutions. And what is a revolution? By revolution, we mean a change in the entire way a society is organized. How was society organized in the 18th century? Society was organized according to the codes of feudalism. When the bourgeois revolutions came, for example, we had a bourgeois revolution even in England in 1649, remember? Charles I lost his head and his son had to flee away to France. And when he came back in 1660, hence we know that as the Restoration. So this gave tremendous inspiration that oppression, depression, misery isn't permanent. Revolution is permanent, and things change, and things will happen for the better. And with this hope for betterment comes the light of emancipation, comes the lamp. So literature does not only become a mirror, it becomes a lamp. It becomes a lamp which showers light, the light of hope on the oppressed masses. Right? Now hence, you see, the hammer is a very important and potent symbol of revolution. Excuse me. Now he goes on to say, what the hammer, what the chain, in what furnace was thy brain? What the anvil? Now by anvil we mean a broad iron clamp. What dread grasp dare its deadly terrors clasp? So here we see that what is this hammer, the sound of this cantankerous sound, and what is this chain? As if this tiger is being made in a divine factory where God is creating this creature for divine justice. When the stars threw down their spears, now this particular line needs explanation, which I plan to do it in another video or send you notes, so don't worry about this. And watered heaven with their tears, did he smile his work to see, did he who made the lamb make thee? And it ends, Tiger, tiger burning bright in the forests of the night, what immortal hand or eye dare frame thy fearful symmetry? So you have to understand that the tiger and the lamb are two contrary states of the human soul. And by soul I mean the psyche. Within you exists the tiger, within you exists the lamb. To be the lamb or not to be the lamb, to be the tiger or not to be the tiger, that is totally up to you. For example, Shakespeare makes Hamlet say, to be or not to be, whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take up arms against a sea of troubles. Remember, sea of troubles. If you are taking up arms, then it is against a sea of troubles. Or you can be like the lamb. You can listen to people. You can stay meek and mild. No need to change anything. Just go on in the same drab, monotonous life. So, by lamb we mean meekness, mildness, a reaction which is devastatingly monotonous, which is inherently filled with boredom and ennui. But that cannot be said so for the tiger, because the tiger represents a spirit of emancipation, a spirit of rebellion. Now the stars, you can see here the stars have been given an imagery of warriors of the night, right? So the imagery in this particular poem, the tiger, is remarkable. You can see that apart from the natural and cosmic images like the forest of the night, deeps and skies, stars, etc., Blake has used the analogy of the blacksmith forging the tiger with the hammer and the chain in his furnace, divine furnace. The maker is an ironmonger at the forge. He twists out the dread hands and feet of the tiger. He twists the dread hands and feet of the tiger out of iron and not clay. Remember, he's made of iron. The network of images from metalwork increases the visual appeal and creation of the tiger. Look at the images. Fire. What does fire do? It is showering light, but you cannot. It is spreading light, but you cannot go close to it, otherwise you will burn. Similarly, the tiger spirit is a light of rebellion. It is a ray of protest against inhuman conditions. This can be applied to Dalit literature. This philosophy can be applied to African American literature when they were fighting against the racist white ideology. When Dalits were fighting against Brahminical, patriarchal ideologies. The tiger spirit is there. So what is the tiger? It is a spirit. It is a philosophy which has been imagined, an imagination for a realization, for emancipation by revolution. That is what the tiger depicts.